Welcome to our channel, and in this video you will learn about grid trading bots on the Pionex exchange. First, please notice our disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for educational and informational purposes only. Alright, now let's dive right into this video. But one thing before we start, all the links you will need about Pionex but also the grid trading bot on Pionex will be down in the description. So now onto the video. As you can see, we are on the Pionex exchange, and the main thing we are going to be talking about in this video is the grid trading bot, which is a trading bot which automatically trades for you within the parameters you give it. In this video we'll talk about why you would use such a bot, but also how you yourself can actually start using such a bot and create it, because it's not that difficult. Now obviously one of the most asked questions in the whole crypto industry right now is we're in a bear market. So what can we exactly do in this crypto space? Should we buy? Should we sell? Should we just hold and wait? What should we do? And the grid trading bot is a good strategy to actually help you buy low and sell high. And there's an example to show you that one grid bot right now makes about 17% profit, but we'll get into that a little bit later. First of all, I wanted to get into what is a grid trading bot, because that is probably the question you have right now. So let's actually check that out on pionex.com as well. So they have a lot of education on the bots they use, which I think is very valuable to you too. So first of all, why should I use a grid trading bot? We already talked about that. So now onto how to use the grid trading bot on Pionex, which we will also do a little bit later. So right now we will just go over the theoretical side of it, but we will also create our own bot in a moment. So first of all, you can do two things for the grid trading bot. You can use the AI strategy and you can set it for yourself. So if you use the AI strategy, the Pionex AI advisor will suggest a set of parameters for you. And these parameters were calculated from backtesting the last 7 days. So you'll see the recommended price range and profit per grid as a preview. And all you need to do is to use the slider to choose how much of your funds you would like to use for the grid trading bot. So it's very easy and you can see it right there. Again, we will also get into that a little bit later, how to do that for yourself. Now you can also use set myself. Now you can also use customized parameters, so set it for yourself. That way you can choose an upper limit price, a lower limit price, the number of grids, and the total investment for the bots with some options. So for example, here you can see it, but again, we will get into that a little bit later. And at this point of time, I also want to tell you again, remind you that all the links you will need for the bot, but also for the Pionex exchange, a register link, for example, will be down in the description. So let's actually look at an example, because you're probably still wondering, well, how does such a grid trading bot actually trade? When does it buy? When does it sell? And how does it work? All right, so what we saw a couple of minutes ago, you will put in an upper limit price, for example, 8,000 USDT for the BTC USDT pair, which we're not at those levels right now, but it's just an example. So the upper limit you can set as 8,000, and then the lower limit as 5,000, and then a grid quantity of 10. And a quantity per grid of 1 Bitcoin. So what does that exactly do? Well, after the bot has been created, it'll slice the range from 5,000, the lower limit, and 8,000, the upper limit, into 10 sections and places orders in each of these sections. So that's how it actually buys and sells. So as the price fluctuates, it keeps executing the buy orders whenever the price goes a bit down and sell orders whenever the price goes a bit up. So as long as the price stays within the 5,000 to 8,000 range, it will earn you a small profit for every set of buy and sell orders that has been triggered. So for example, the optionals that we had were, for example, a stop loss price for the grid trading bot. So this means that when it touches that stop loss price, it'll cancel itself and all the base currency will be sold to the quote currency once the price drops below that. And if you ran the bot on BTC against USDT pair, the bot will sell your BTC, for example, for USDT. But if this was, for example, BTC against Solana, it would sell BTC to Solana and close the bot once the price reaches your stop loss price. So now I think it's time. Now you already know what the grid trading bot actually does, how you can set it up with an AI, but also how to set it up for yourself. So now let's actually get back to the Pionex exchange and set up this bot for ourselves. Alright, so we're back at the Pionex exchange, and one thing I have to say about the Pionex exchange as well is that it has over 350 crypto coins on there. So we saw in the example that we used BTC, but there is way more you can do on Pionex with a lot of cryptocurrencies. Apart from that, Pionex is also trustworthy. It has over $1 billion in volume per day over the last 24 hours, for example, and it's also fully certified and regulated in countries like Singapore and the United States. So this is not some exchange you're trading on, it is actually one of the biggest ones out there. So now let's actually check out how to create that grid trading bot for yourself. So the first thing you will need to do is you will need to register. And again, all the links you will need will be down in the description. What you will then do is you click trade, and then very easily, first of all, you have the pair right here, Bitcoin against USDT. Let's just keep that as an example. And then right here under the trading bots, you will see the grid trading bot where we will press create. Once you press create, you will see the AI strategy. And what we said in the beginning, over the last and like we said in the beginning, it's backtested that over the last 30 days, it actually had an APR of 70% profit by using this bot when you actually backtest it. So you can use the AI strategy where, for example, if you add balance to your Pionex account, you can actually use the slider to invest a certain percentage of your balance into the AI strategy grid trading bot, but you can also set it up for yourself, the manual setting right here. And again, like we said, and like we actually saw, you can set the lower limit and the upper limit. So for example, we're right now at 19,750. Let's set the lower limit at 16,000, which is a strong support. The upper limit at, let's say 23,000, which is a strong resistance level. Then you can set the grids. Well, let's just keep the example 10. So then the area between 16,000 and 23,000 will be sliced into 10 grids. And the total investment, what I would like to invest is maybe 1,000 USDT. So I would first need to add that. And then if you actually check the advanced settings, you can, for example, use a trigger price, which means that it only gets triggered once it gets to a certain level. So for example, right now we could do 21,000. I only want this to happen when we reach 21,000. So if that happens, the bot will only start when you reach 21,000. You can use a stop loss. So for example, well, the upper bound is 23,000. If it actually reaches 24,000, I would like this bot to stop. So when you type in 24,000, it will stop once it reaches that level. And you can also just use a different level. So the grid is between 16,000 and 23,000. You can also say, well, I would just like to close the bot at a certain level, right? And then you can use the slippage control. So when you're actually buying for a certain price because of the slippage in the market and because of the volatility, a lot of the times it actually not really buys for that certain price. There's some sort of a slippage. So you can put control on that, yes or no. If you put control on that, it might be the case that some trades will not be entered, but if you don't, you might have some more slippage. And you can choose the grid mode too. So for that, I wanted to get into this. You can use the grid mode arithmetic or geometric, and what it basically means, it's the way it creates these grids. So for example, with arithmetic, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So the grid is equal, the interval between each grid. But when you use the geometric, you would use 1, 2, 4, 8. So it's proportional. That's the difference in both. And depending on your strategy, you can use both. And then lastly, the investment, you can choose to only invest USDT. But if you actually have some BTC on your balance too, you can also use both to actually invest into the bot. Alright, so with that, we have reached the end of this video on Pionex and the grid trading bot. And in this video, you actually learned what a grid trading bot is, how to use it on the Pionex exchange, a little bit more about the Pionex exchange, and how to actually set it up for yourself. So again, one last reminder, all the links you will need will be down in the description, so check them out. Now, if you found this video helpful, please make sure to add a like and add comments about questions I might have missed and subscribe to our channel. Bye.